Hi, this is Vicki from Grandma B's Junk Journals. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today we are going to make a couple of collage cards. I found these two index card packs. I don't know what we would call them, but if you've been following my videos, you know that I'm a retired elementary school teacher. I used to use these in the classroom all of the time. We would put sight words in them for my little ones, or math problems, anything that they could use when they had a few minutes just to practice some of the things that we were working on in class. And then when I retired, I had a whole stash of them, and I knew I could use them for something. I just didn't know what, and decided to pull one out today and start a little collage book. So I'm going to use this one. It has the index dividers, which I can just pull out, and I will eventually sort them out and use that. Now, I probably got these at Walmart or the Dollar Tree. You know, of course you could get them on Amazon, but you know, shop local if you can. And so anyways, they're very cheap. Like I said, maybe a buck and a quarter. And it's really just the perfect size for collage note cards. I made this one earlier today, and this is going to be perfect if I'm making a junk journal. I can just pull this out and trim up the sides a little bit. Maybe I could ink it up a little bit. I did kind of make a mistake, I feel, after I made it, because I see the lines. So from here on out, I'm going to try to use the back side where there are no lines. But for this one, it's fine. I will just be able to trim it up close when I'm ready to use it. I will also be able to use this as part of like a greeting card. I can just cut around it, put it on the front of a blank card, and that will be a beautiful little note card to send out to a friend. So anyways, I made this one this morning, and there's like 5 different elements. So we have, I am using designer paper. This is a 6x6 paper pad. I love these. I get these from Echo Park. This is a Cardabella brand, and they are 2-sided. They all coordinate with each other, so it makes it very nice if you're making a lot of cards or embellishments. I love to use cards in all of my journals, and you open them up and you can put photos in them or journaling spots, but they're great for small projects as well. So I pulled one of these papers. I used a pair of scissors and just trimmed it up. And then, so that's one. The back side is this little green piece. Then I used a circle punch from Stampin' Up, and it's 1 3/4. That fits perfectly behind there. Now you could use whatever you wanted. Wouldn't have to be a circle. It could be anything you wanted. And then I just received this punch from Stampin' Up, and I love it. Now I have dies that cut these tags, but honestly, I don't know. I don't use them as much as I should, but when I seen this punch, you can cut out 3 different banners or tags at once. I absolutely love it. So I'm just starting to use that, and this is one of those little punch outs. This is a sticker, and then I just put a little gem on there. So that's it. I love it. It's just a simple collage, but my goal is I'm going to try to make a collage on each one of these. I'm not always really good at following through with some of these ideas that I have, because then I have more ideas on something else. So kind of crazy on that. But if you like that banner punch, or if you are in need of circles or others, this is, you can find those. This is a link to my Stampin' Up store. Just go to that website, and you can purchase, you know, they have a ton of different stamps. They're really getting into like scrapbooking along with card making, but also the junk journaling, because there's so many people now that are making junk journals. So they're kind of catering to that too, such as the tag punch and the circle punch, and they have all different kinds of the circle punches. So if you're interested in that, you could go visit my Stampin' Up! Store and make that purchase. I know you will love it as much as I do, and I cannot wait to play around with it some more. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here on the next page. So actually, I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna use a back side because I want it blank. And I'm just going to, let's see if I can get this a little bit closer maybe. I don't know, I may end up moving it back up. We'll see, we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull a piece of paper that I like. I'm gonna kind of stick with, no, I just did that one. Let's see. I really love the 6x6 paper pads from Echo Park. They're so fun to play with. And this is the spring. Here comes spring. And if you watch, Echo Park always has these warehouse sales and you can really get some good deals. So I'm just gonna tear it and just kind of go like this to make this as my background. Again, these are just going to be simple little collages that when I am in need of an embellishment or a page in my junk journals, or if I want a pocket, this is definitely sturdy enough that, you know, you can take right out of this little book and, you know, make a pocket, make a tag. Tags would be great. I'm going to use liquid glue, and this is PVA glue. I also love art glitter glue. Those are my two favorites, and I use them interchangeably. I just fill up my bottles and have them on hand when I need them. Okay, so that's going to be the background. So if we flip back, we have the background there. Then the next part of the layer is this circle music sheet. So instead of the music sheet, I just grabbed a text block from a book that I've just been pulling. So I'm just going to punch, and I like to punch it this way so I can see what I'm punching. And I did 2 layers at a time, and I'm just kind of filling a container next to me up with all of the extras. And I am going to put a little ink on it to distress it. And I'm using the brushed corduroy. And let's see, I'm just gonna do around the edges just so it pops up off the page a little bit. And again, now you could definitely use a glue stick, you know, tape runner, whatever kind you have is just fine. I really like the liquid glue. It works well. Oh, look at that. Well, you know what? I did not separate those good, and so I am just going to, since the top one is inked, no problem. I'm just going to glue it right on top. See, that's a fix of oopsie. Okay, then I'm going to find one of my little stickers from my sticker box because, let's see, what's next in our, what is next? So we have the back designer paper, we have the text, then we need a solid color that coordinates with the flowers. And I am going to use the back side because the back side always coordinates with it. And I am just going to rip just a little piece off. I do want all of the edges to have the torn look. And I'm not going to worry about inking. I really just wanted to ink the text up just so it pops a little bit. And then I'm going to just use this liquid glue, just enough to lay it down like that. Okay, so that's given us 3. My goal is 5 plus a gem, I think is what I'm working on. All right, so then, so we have 1, 2, 3. Now we need to look for a sticker that's going to match that. And I've got this sticker box that's full of these adorable little stickers. Now I do want it to match the colors. That one matches really great. But do I want more of a pop? Let's see. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Oh, here's one. Oh, I'm doing that one. She is absolutely adorable. Okay, so I am going to peel this paper off the back. You wouldn't have to do that, but I do like to add, I like to use the stickiness that's on there, plus get a little bit more, just to make sure it doesn't pop up, because who knows what I'm going to end up using these for. They could be on cards and journals, tags, I have no idea. We'll see. Oh, she is adorable. Look at that. She is so cute. Okay, all right, so that's good. Then we need a little banner. So we are going to get a piece of paper here. What a messy desk. Man, I get out here in my studio and I just make a mess. Looks like a tornado. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in here like that. Look at that, 3 banners at once. Man, and I am just going to, I'm gonna just punch a ton of these and put them in here so that when I am ready to use them, they're all gonna be done. That is gonna be just really great. Okay, and let's see. So this one, I used this little banner here. Here's another one. And then this is, it's got the little tails at both ends. And I'm thinking maybe that's what I want to do here. Now I already have a couple of stamps ready. And let's see, this one is Shine Like the Stars. It's a little bit long. Oh boy, did I pick the wrong stamps. Let Life Surprise You. Oh, that will actually fit. All right, so I think I'm going to use black. So the black ink I'm using is Memento Black. And if you didn't have that and need it, you could also find that on my Stampin' Up! Website, along with these blocks for stamps. And I'm gonna stamp off here first just to make sure it turns out. Okay, that turned out pretty good. Now, if you haven't seen these, I don't know, I don't even actually know if Stampin' Up! Still has these. But I bought these years ago, and it cleans, so one side is wet and the other side is dry. Now you can use water or cleaner on that. I always just put baby wipe, and then I just clean my stamps that way, and then run it here and it dries, and then that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and, now you could put pop dots on this to lift it up off of your collage if you wanted to. I'm just doing flat because I don't know what I'm gonna actually use this for later down the road. So I just put liquid glue, and I'm just going to kind of put it at an angle like that. Okay, then I'm gonna get a gem that's kind of gonna go with this. I'm thinking maybe a green, maybe if I have one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my 5 elements that I was looking for. And then I'm not gonna count my little gem as an element. I guess maybe I should, but I'm not going to. And I'm thinking, let's see if I have, let's see, how about that? A heart, star. Let's see, this sheet has, what a mess. I love these little photo boxes for all of my little doodads. This is working pretty well for my little gems here. I don't know. I want it to pop a little bit. I don't have enough, I'm not liking that shade of green. Oh, here's one. I think this is going to be perfect. Okay, I am going to use this little gem right here. I always like to put a dot of glue just because I don't trust stickers or gems from falling off later down the road. So if you put just a dot of glue, that's going to secure it. Okay, perfect. I love that. All right, so that was a pretty quick collage. It's super cute. Now, if you did not have any of these stickers, you could do the same thing with book images. I'm gonna just grab this off my desk. It wasn't quite planned here, but I cut this out of one of my books this morning. You could use, of course, that's too big, but you could use a smaller image. Let's see. Here are some of my postcards that I've made. Little images from books. You could definitely find some in your stash. Oh, here's another tag laying around there. Any little images from books that you have, you can definitely use in your collages. They are perfect. I mean, all of these are book page images and they're great collages. So you do not have to use the scrapbook paper like I have. If you have any kind of paper in your stash, and I'm sure you do if you're listening to this video, you probably have lots of scrap paper. So you can pull it out and use anything. If you don't have a punch and you just don't, want to go buy one, you don't have a budget for it, I totally get that. But you probably have an old book that you could just cut out different shapes with scissors, So there's lots of things that you can use just in your stash to create a simple collage that will look great as an embellishment in your journals, or maybe you want to make a greeting card, or maybe you want to make a tag, a bookmark, something like that. You can make one of these little collages in like 5 minutes. I mean, I'm on here quite a while, but I'm doing a lot of talking, but you could definitely just sit down and put one of these collages together in like 5 minutes. So another thought for you is the words. If you don't have any stamps, look in your books, look in newspapers or magazines for specific words and cut them out, and then you can glue those words onto your collages as well. You don't have to use a stamp. So anyways, I hope I've given you some ideas, maybe inspired you to go shop your stash, see what you have. And if I have, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.